All right, we are recording. So, hey everyone, welcome to our Team Zoom. I am Amber Duluth, Elite 3 Platinum 2, and we started talking with some other D3 and above, and we decided that it would be really cool for everyone to kind of get to know your elites, and then we'll probably work our way down through D3s and such. But we really wanted you guys to get to know your leadership. And so this is actually going to be recorded. It'll be posted in M Life, and then we'll probably start doing them randomly with lives, like split screen, so you can kind of get to know all of your elites. I guess at some point, someone should interview me. I didn't even think about that. And at one point, we'll get John as well. So we've got a lot of people, but I wanted to start with, and maybe it's because I'm a tiny bit selfish of who I got to pick first, because originally we were going to have Anna Woodward just do some training, just some generic training for you guys, but she, of course, is doing the call tonight at 9, so we're switching her over. So I thought, let's start the Elite series. Let's introduce you guys to your elites. And I asked my very first ever elite to be the first one on here because, quite frankly, she was our first elite on the team besides myself, and that is a huge accomplishment. And so I'm going to intro Daphne a little bit, and then we're going to let her tell her story because she has an awesome one, and then I'm going to ask her a few questions. And if you guys think of any questions, because I like putting Daphne in the hot seat, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. But so I have known Daphne for 2 years now, which seems crazy. I met Daphne in our old company. We did some boating and some hanging out for one weekend, and just stayed connected after that. But more importantly is she's become one of my best friends. I just adore her. I think she's an amazing human being. And she's funny. If you've ever seen her dance moves, like, you can't get rid of her because the dance moves are legit. Okay. And so she's just a fun person, and she attracts a lot of awesome people because she's just an absolute light. And more importantly is the girl works and she doesn't make excuses. If you know her whole story, and she may give you a little piece of it, you will know that, the world can get her down and she doesn't stay down. She just keeps working. And so I really admire that above all. So Daphne is a platinum or platinum 1?
Platinum.
Okay, platinum elite 1, and we are pushing our tails off for E2, but then E3 by end of year. So Daphne, go ahead and just give them your story.
My story. Okay, I don't get nervous for this stuff, but I got butterflies in my belly right now. So yeah, I'm let's see. I'm Daphne. I'm a mom of 3. I could get choked up. I haven't got choked up in a long time. We had it's been an emotional little ride around here. I'm a mom of 3. My husband and I own a construction company. We're busy. My kids are all involved in sports and lots of extra activities, so I'm a busy person. And so when people, I know, like, I used to always say, like, nobody has an excuse for me because I'm a busy person and busy people get things done. So that's the kind of people I like to find. But then we have all these adoptive moms with like 9 babies, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not quite so busy. So, yeah, like they're kind of like legit psycho. Like, you have to be kind of crazy to have 9 babies. Just kidding. I love you all. I think you're wonderful. Okay, so yeah, mom of 3. This industry found me about 8 years ago, and I just really had no idea. I am a retail store manager by trade, I guess you could say, back in the JOB days. And, talking to people is what comes natural to me. So that trade, retail sales, was easy for me, and that led me right into network marketing. But when I found network marketing, I was like, oh, I might make a couple extra $100. And then I was with that company for about 7 years, and those 7 years were, lots of ups and downs. I feel like this industry, if you are ready for a roller coaster, then you can be great here, right? Because there are ups and there are downs, and it doesn't matter what business you're with, but you're going to feel them. So in that company, I felt a lot of them. I worked my tail off over and over and over again, built, rebuilt, built, rebuilt, built, rebuilt. And it was a totally different deal than here. But let me tell you, last year, and this is where I might get choked up. I'm going to try really hard, okay? Last year, my husband got diagnosed with cancer, and I internalized it, okay? So pull it together. I had a really bad year. I just decided I needed to just chill. I needed to be with my family. Actually, I just was being really selfish because I didn't let anybody in. I didn't talk about it. I didn't feel the feels. That's probably why I'm emotional now, because like things are good now. There's a happy ending. But I just let myself go in 2016. And so at the end of 2017, I was like, we're going to regroup and we're going to rebuild and I'm going to work really hard. And I've done this before, I can do it again. Right. And I spent a whole bunch of money on gear. So if you came from where I came from, you know exactly what I spent, hundreds. And the box came and I couldn't touch it. Like I couldn't bring myself to dig into that box. And then in December, somebody that I admired from our previous company, she has pink hair now, she posted a video about something, you know, she was making a shocking move. It was a shocking move to me. She was leaving a good paycheck. And I didn't know what her paycheck was. I didn't know anything. I just knew that she was a hard worker and that she'd invested a lot. She'd been able to do a lot of things for a lot of people. She brought a baby home. So there were a lot of things that made me want to know what she was doing. And she wouldn't give me the information, you guys. I asked, and for 3 days, she was like, Steve said I can't share. Steve said I can't tell you. But she also knew what it was going to mean for me on the other end. Like it brought along some trials, right? Like it wasn't like jump in smooth sailing. Like I jumped in the day after she told me, actually 2 days after she told me, I like cried and like stressed over it. So if you guys did the same thing, it's understandable. Like that was like a breakup for me. 7 years of loyalty to a company was hard for me to get over for about a day. And then once I was here, it was very, very exciting, but it also came with some trials. And so I don't know, I'm kind of going the long-sided story of Daphne right now, but this right here was what brought me out of all those troubles. Like I finally was able to say, you know what, this was the positive light that my family needed. Choked up again. What is up? This was just, you know, it brought so much to life. It brought positive people. It brought positive energy. It brought positive movement. It put me back into personal momentum. If you guys don't know what personal momentum is, this is what it did so many things for me. And so I was able to start surrounding myself with the type of people that I wanted to be. And I had been coaching that for so long, but I let myself be held down in that previous company, I guess, for lack of a better word. I was just held down. I let myself be tucked under somebody's wing instead of soaring on my own. So I'm happy to be here. It's been probably the best 8 months ever. I at the beginning of the year, I was like, 2017 is going to be my year. And then after I like reevaluated, I'm like, heck no, I have like 300 people on my team. Like this is our year, right? Like we're owning this. So it's been pretty exciting.
I love it. Okay. So, gosh, okay, I'm not gonna cry. So that's
I'm sorry. I did not expect to get choked up today. I've told that story 1,000 million times, and most times when I talk about his cancer, I didn't even talk about it. I don't get choked up, but for whatever reason, you guys must be special.
You are special. So let's talk about how you went elite, because I want to talk about a little bit of something called Daphne walked away from about 4,000 a month. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And Daphne just set a 20,000 a month goal, and she's really not going to be that far off that goal here very soon. So I think it's important that we talk about, you know, how you can get yourself out of that box and start thinking about 20K. Like what happens for you to start thinking about stuff like that? Like what, you know what I mean?
Honestly, like for me, it was to stop thinking about it. Okay. So so in my previous company, I always was focused on 10,000. Like I had $10,000 written all over my mirror and $10,000 everywhere and $10,000. So it's all I was thinking about. And I know this is kind of going to sound cliche for some of you, but you know, you've heard when you stop making it about yourself, big things will happen. Like I got in this, when I joined Modere and you know, I started recruiting and I started building a team and I started putting people together and the magic started happening. It was like we went to work and we weren't focused on what was going to be the end result, because you know what? We couldn't do the math to figure out what the end result was going to be. So we were just working our tails off, hoping and waiting. And like, I mean, I was so excited to open up to this day, every time they're like commissions posted, I'm like, I need to record myself because this is going to be good, because it's, you know, it's just, it isn't about what that's going to be anymore. It's about, okay, like as soon as they say it's posted and I look at mine, as fast as I can make messages go out, I'm like, what was yours? What was yours? What was yours? Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're thinking, because what everybody else is feeling is so stinking excited. So I don't know. I mean, that may or may not be your answer, but that's how it worked for me. When I stopped thinking about what the end result was going to be, it started happening.
It's funny because people are like, what are you doing different? I'm like, I have so many thousandaires now that I don't even like, you guys understand that if you just work to get your team to make $1,000, the rest is coming to you. You get that, right? But if it's putting that focus on people seeing those commas in your check, man, I mean, it's crazy. Yes, that's actually exactly what I wanted, is stop thinking about that and stop focusing on your bottom line is a huge thing. Okay, so tell us, I'm just flying. Guys, if you have questions, hit up the chat, but I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants until you decide to do that. So, tell us, how has summer been to you, and how are you kind of getting yourself refocused for fall?
Summer has been great for me. But I made the decision, I came from a company where they told us summer's slow month, right? So that's been drilled. If you've been in this industry, you've been told that. And so I just decided, and actually I'll probably take this on a tangent here in a minute, because I spent all day talking about mindset. And mindset plays such a big piece in this. If you tell yourself it's going to be a slow month, it's going to be a slow month. If you tell yourself it's going to be a slow day, week, month, season, whatever, that's what it's going to be. And I'm fortunate enough to work with people that agree and that are ready to roll with the same mindset I have. Like, if we chose that this summer was going to be pretty badass, and it's been pretty badass. I actually got a call from another leader with everything that's shaken out in the past few weeks. I got a call from another leader like, what do your numbers look like? Like, I'm freaking out. And I was like, I'm not. I feel like we're set up to have a pretty BA fall. I know that my goals are going to be hit. I know that my team's goals are going to be hit by the end of the year. I know who's going to be sitting with me at the leadership dinner in Kansas City. I know what's going to happen, but we know that we know that we know. And so our mindset is just like, wake up, do your thing. Like, we don't give time for us to be like, oh man, July's over, the kids go. I don't want to tell you how many people that I was working with and like prospecting and maybe talking to about recruiting. They were like, oh, the kids went back to school, I can work again. And I'm like, what? Like, like my kids went back to school. I'm like, I get to put my feet up for 2 hours in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get a break now. So summer didn't do anything different to me, but continue building. But I feel like I kind of mentioned personal momentum at the beginning of the call, and personal momentum was something that I've strived for. Okay. So I know when I'm feeling really, really good, that I can put myself in personal momentum. And that's why I wake up every single day and I do something positive every single day, whether it's writing my gratitude journal, make a positive post, talk to somebody positive. Like, I avoid all negative until I feel myself in positive momentum for the day. Okay. So once you have enough days in a row of positive momentum, you will put yourself, you can't avoid it, putting yourself into personal momentum, personal positive momentum. Okay. So once you're there, like draws like, right? So when you're in positive momentum, personal momentum, imagine the people that are going to send you messages. Like, if I open up a message and it's negative, I just close it. You guys, you don't have to reply to everything negative, right? So that when you reply to it, it starts drawing negative energy. So if you were trying to put yourself into positive momentum, it will draw from that. All right. So I feel like that was a big thing for us and for a lot of people this summer on my team, was choosing to put ourselves into positive momentum.
I freaking love that. I mean, we agree on this. I tell people, I'm like, summer doesn't suck, you suck. That's just the nature of the game, right? Like, summer doesn't suck, you're choosing to suck.
Yeah, it's a personal choice. Like, I definitely, listen, you guys, if I wanted to, I could have not worked this summer. For different reasons. And I don't say that to sound cocky, like financially, yeah, I could have taken it off. But I also, Amber and I had the opportunity to spend a week in Nicaragua. As soon as we got back, 2 weeks later, I was traveling to Maryland to camp. I got back from there. The day we got back, we took our camper for 2 weeks. I camped with my 12-year-old, just the two of us. But every time we were somewhere, we still chose to work. Like, it's not about this having to take away from all the goodness. It doesn't have to take an 8-hour work day to be pretty darn great at this. It just takes you being diligent. Like, when we were camping, I'd wake up and say, Avery's still asleep. Avery sleeps until dang 10 o'clock. I've been lucky since the day she was born. But I would work until she'd get up, or, we would go for a bike ride and she'd be like, I'm going to go to the pool. And I'd be like, okay, I'm going to sit at the pool and work. It was just being selective with my time so that I could still do the cool stuff. But I got all those messages in, and guess what? I sat at the campground and signed a social marketer who came to the campground to meet me to hear about it and signed on the spot, because listen, This is a great, great opportunity. And she was like, I'm going to do what you do. You know what I mean? So I don't even know what the question was, but I'm telling you, like, I just chose to do what I could. And, you know, tonight, I'm going to use tonight as an example. Tonight did not go as planned. I didn't know that I was going to be speaking on this call until this afternoon. And I had a day away with another leader today. And my day just got crazy. Well, my son has been off with a knee injury. He had reconstructive knee surgery in April, and he got cleared this morning. He's a senior in high school. He got cleared this morning to play sports. We have not done any football all summer, no nothing. He said, I'm not playing football. I'm going to wrestle. He called me after school and said, I'm going to go to football practice. And I was like, I have to pick Avery up at 5. He's like, well, I need to be picked up at 6. And I was like, well, that's just not going to work. I have a call at 7. He's like, we'll be home by then. Well, I sat in the parking lot from 5:45 until 6:45. I called my husband. I'm like, I'm leaving Patrick. So I drove home, and my husband was pulling out the driveway when I was pulling in to go back to the school, which is like 10 miles away, to get Patrick, because these are the choices I make. I called him and I said, I can probably back out of this call. And he said, this is important to us. And so I'm here on your call, on this call, our call, and Patrick is not here yet, but that's okay. You know, we just roll with the punches because I choose to make these things important. You just have to make the choice.
You know, I saw a meme the other day that says, no one was born a winner or a loser. We were all born to be choosers. And I thought that was pretty powerful.
I love that.
I know, or I've been saving it on my phone for the right day. But it's true. We all think that like you're destined to be a loser, right? And if that was the case, my toddler, Maylee from China, would be a giant loser, right? Like that, she was born a loser and she's not. And so you were born to be a chooser. And I think that a lot of things that Daphne just said hits that right on the head. And you guys, you know, I think one of the most powerful parts of this team's very beginnings, and Daphne can attest to this, for my team at least, our team started in December, 10 days before Christmas, and we went nuts. I mean, Daphne, you went director in December, right?
No, I went gold senior team leader. But I signed up December 19th. So over Christmas and New Year's Eve, I did that. And then by the end of January, I was platinum D2.
I mean, guys, that's insane. Like I tell people, I went in my first 2 weeks, I went platinum too. That was Christmas. Like you understand that, right? So I think that's a huge part of that personal momentum. And so Daphne, tell them a little bit about, like you said, you know, you have to stay positive and stuff, but tell them a little bit about what your personal development looks like, because I know that you are as crazy as I am with being personally developed. And so tell them how you do that in order to kind of push your personal momentum.
Well, I'm a little bit of a dabbler. I like a lot of stuff going on at one time as far as personal development goes. So like I have to feel like what I'm looking for, right? First of all, if you don't have an Alexa, you're going to want an Alexa. She's probably going to wake up because I just said her name. But I love her because you can download TED Talks and she can play my TED Talks while I'm getting the kids ready for school. Okay. So if you have Spotify on your phone, I want you to download the station or the search Fearless Motivation on Spotify. That's my shower detail right there. So just so you know, I said once on a call, I'm going to say this and this is recording and everyone will get a chuckle, but I was on a call one day and I was really fired up and I was talking about my personal development. And I was like, if you don't have Fearless Motivation, you need to get it because it's kind of like chanty. It's kind of like in your brain, like it's really like gruesome. Like it gets you and you're like, feel fierce. And like, I walk out of there and sometimes I just want to eat my dog. And somebody was like, oh my God, did you just say you eat puppies? Like, I didn't mean it, but it literally gets me so amped up. It's called Fearless Motivation. But it gets me so fired up, like I could like conquer the world. And it's like, you are a warrior. You were born to win. You're a winner. You're a winner. And it kind of repeats sometimes. And there's lots of different things. I just play it on shuffle, but it is really, really good. Okay. So that's like something that you can do. Okay. I don't know how everybody's brain works, but I'm going to tell you how mine was. If I'm listening to an Audible book, if anything else is going on, I hear bits and pieces.
Yep.
Okay. If I'm reading a book and anything's going on, I sometimes read like a whole paragraph. I'm like, crap, I have to read the whole paragraph again. Okay, so if I'm in a situation where I can't focus, Fearless Motivation is perfect because I can go in and out, right? Like I can pick up pieces here and there. The songs kind of repeat themselves. There's some instrumental behind it when they're talking. It's really fantastic. But I also like before I do a live or before I not even like if I'm going to do a Zoom, I do Zooms with a lot of other leaders with their teams. And if I ask, what do you want me to talk about? I will spend the day watching 2, 3, 4, 10 videos about what they want me to speak about. And so then I find videos that I like, or maybe I'm like, oh, this video is good for later. So I have a whole YouTube list of things that I like to watch, because those two, if I'm visual and listening, I can pay attention better than if I'm just listening to an Audible book. So I have lots of different, if I'm on the treadmill, I can do an Audible book. So I just have lots of different things. I have lists of books, but I'm sure we have lists like printed up somewhere. I am currently reading Secrets of Six-Figure Women for the second time. And yeah, it's really good. And I feel like it pertains to a lot of people, because I definitely undervalued myself. I definitely aligned with the whole overcoming under-earning. Like I definitely agreed with the under-earning thing. Like I definitely underestimated my potential. And that book is kind of like helping me break that shell, which I think a lot of women can relate to that. But I feel like, to be honest, when I met with another leader today, and she was like, this is what I'm getting from my team, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, okay, the first time somebody came to you with that, your question should be, what are you reading? What are you watching? Because I feel like, where I came from, there was not as much personal development, but they talked to us like a third of your time should be personal development, right? Like, honestly, I feel like a third of my time should be spent making me better. If I want to be a better wife, a better mom, better leader, better friend, I have to invest in myself to be better. So I do a lot of personal development. And that was, again, totally Daphne-ified, because I just went all over the rambit on that one.
Sorry.
Does my best friend have a fever?
She does. She told us earlier her head hurts, and she just doesn't look all that good. Can you tell him hi? No.
I think she looks great.
You can tell she doesn't feel good, though, right? Like.
Yeah, for sure.
How about that barrette? It's just there.
Oh. Somebody up here asked how many, and this is totally off topic, but somebody asked how many marketers I brought with me from my former company. I didn't bring a lot. This is what I did do, and I feel like you guys should do it too. Like, make friends. Make friends. I did have some people from It Works come with me. So I guess from my former company, not a ton of my personal team.
Yep.
Okay. And I definitely did everything with as much integrity and grace as possible, and just said, but I had a lot of people that had watched me, and this gave us an opportunity to work together. So I had a handful come from that company. But to be honest, I have one leg that is former It Works people. Some I knew before and some didn't. Tina came from there, but a lot of her team did not. And then it was just all over the place. I would definitely say I had an advantage because I had 7 years in the industry to make an influence. But that doesn't mean that somebody could come into this as their first company and make as much influence as quickly. Okay?
I think that's really important too, because sometimes we see leaders coming from another company and they're like, oh, well, of course they did really well. But guys, and I always use Tina as an example. Tina was a Ruby where we came from, which meant she had a minimum of 5 people on her team, and she's going D3 this month. So it's not one of those things that matters. D3. One of the things that I say is, and none of my leaders will be offended with this, I hope. So I'm just going to say it. People are like, oh, but you had to have brought really big leaders. And I'm like, guys, I brought medium leaders. And some of them weren't even really medium leaders here, but they came here and became huge leaders because of what we have. And so I think that's the exact same thing in Daphne's situation. I mean, Daphne's team size and team volume was nothing where she came from to compare to here. So I think that that's a really huge, important thing to say. But like she said, she built influence, and
I feel like, okay, so I'm gonna take it away for just a second again. I feel like this opportunity fit me better because I got to be Daphne. Okay, so I definitely was born to be a nonconformist. I don't want, if you tell me you're doing something, I will go out of my way not to do it, just so you know. And if, I always wanted a Range Rover, and I got here and I was like, everybody has Range Rovers, I'm never buying one of those. I will not do the same thing as anybody. Everybody's getting undercuts. You won't find me doing it. Everybody's got pink hair. Not finding me doing it. I just always want to veer to the opposite side of everyone else. So my previous company, you all walk this path, right? This is what we do. This is what we wear. These are the colors we wear. This is how it is. This is how you post. This is how you message. This is how you do it. And when I came here, the most refreshing piece was, hey, you're Daphne. Like, you're kind of punky. You're fun. You're zany. Like, be you and attract you type people. And I'm going to tell you, that's probably why I feel like I have the most success, is because if you ask Tina is probably the person I talk to the most that's on this call right now. And she knows, like, she knows what she's going to get when she messages me. Like, I am pretty much the same. Like, I just am kind of crazy and I'm kind of fun, but I'm also very much a straight shooter, and I couldn't be that before. I couldn't just be me. And all I wanted to do was be me. All right. So you're branding yourself. You get to talk about what you want to talk about. You get to post what you want to talk about. You get to be, yeah, Sarah Dean, my last company was like, be yourself. Oh wait, no, not like that. That's exactly where what I came from. And now with all the freedom to do whatever and post and talk however I want to be, I feel like I am attracting people that work better with me. So my team is staying cohesive better because we all like each other. We don't have to put names in a box. We don't have to. And I'm kind of going towards, where we came from. And I don't mean to do that because this is for everyone. But when you have an opportunity to be yourself, legit be yourself, and brand yourself and talk the way that you want to be and still build a business as successful as you can here. Like, you guys don't understand, the money-making potential is limitless here for every single one of us. It's not like Amber went E3 crap that took a chunk of the money. That's not how it is here. And I think that everybody needs to understand that. And I said I was going to talk a little bit about mindset, because I really feel like that's the biggest piece of the puzzle. Was if you're sitting, if you've ever been on one of my calls, I always talk about audacious goals. But if you're sitting there thinking, man, I just really wish that I could be senior team leader, I really wish I could be D1, D2, whatever it is, then you are limiting yourself, because every single person on this call, first of all, it's 7 o'clock, well, where I live, 7:30 on Monday night. Today was the first day of my kids' call. You just signed yourself up as a leader, right? Leaders show up. Right? So if you're on this call, you're choosing to show up, then you deserve to be an E3. So ultimately your goal should be E3. You just need to put a path. Like I said on one of my lives, I think a live in one of the groups that we have, I basically said, do you know where you're going? And if you don't, how will you ever get there? Okay. So you have to figure out what end result is for you. And if E3 is not what you want, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying everyone is worthy of that. And when we put something below that on ourselves, we really cap ourselves. Because I'll tell you a quick story. When I came here, elite was my goal. That was my stretch goal for end of 2017, and I did it in the first 4 months. But I also really screwed with my mindset, because I said elite thinking, oh, stretch goal. 10,000 was my goal. Oh, stretch goal. Did it my first 4 months, but subconscious went, well, you did it. Now you don't need to do anything else. You did it. Good job. When ideally my goal should have been Elite 3, but I didn't know, like I was chronically underestimating myself, and I'm sure many of you do the same thing. So I had to reevaluate, and I had to really work to get my mindset back to work for a bigger goal. And so now our team, I had a month or two, I should have gone E1, E2, I should have kept that, but I had to work in the past month or so to really put my personal momentum back into play, because I literally was like, yeah, woo, I did it. Right? So don't underestimate your goals. I know Tina loves that. You need to really, really stretch yourself. Be audacious.
I love that. It's funny because, guys, we've all done that. Like, and you don't have to raise your hand or anything, but who has set that goal and they're like, man, I would just be happy if I hit X, Y, and Z. And then you get there and you get stuck. I mean, my old company too, I had my upline, we shared an upline. At the time she was making like 30 grand a month. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't even need 30 grand. Like give me 10 and I'll be happy. And then I got stuck at 10 and I was like, what the hell is it? Why can't I get past 10? And then when I finally changed my mindset, I moved it to 30 and I literally got stuck. And I know, like, guys, and I know that's a first world problem. Okay. I want to be clear. I understand it's a first world problem to be stuck at 30 grand a month, but you understand that you do that to yourself. When you come in, you're like, I just need $1,000. Like that is all I need. Okay, great. But let's stretch for a little bit more. And it's a lot of growing to do that, guys. over the past few weeks, we've learned a lot about like new levels. I think what John said is new levels, new devils. But my favorite is he's gangster, and he's like, no money, no problems. And so, you know, he's like, we hit these new things, and new things pop up, right? And so you have to grow through those things, though. I mean, Daphne didn't get slammed in the face with her family and her, you know, her husband having cancer, and just didn't grow through it. Like, guys, if you, and I'm not going to call you out for this, but she showed me a live that she did a year ago yesterday, the day before yesterday. And Daphne's not the same human she was a year ago. Like, she's just not. And she didn't just survive with her loved one fighting cancer, guys. She had to grow through that. And I am 100% certain that it was painful and it was really freaking hard. But that's why she's where she is right now, because she grew through something that many people would have thrown the towel in. Like, you guys know that, right? Like, sometimes things get really hard and people throw in the towel. And the woman that's sitting in front of you right now is an elite because she doesn't throw in the towel when life punches her right in the throat. Like, that's who she is.
I'll tell you, I'm not even unleashing. Like, Jason's cancer is just the tip of the iceberg, okay? Like, there was a lot, but I choose, like, I feel like when we're dealt with something negative, the more you talk about it, the more it brings. So, like, there are people that I'm very, very close to on this call right now that don't know the depths of the things, right? Because I just don't talk about them. You know, I like have a few people I release to just because you shouldn't internalize everything. But at the same time, like, moving on, I will get through this, right? And if you have that same mindset and that same drive, I guess, or, you know, do what you need to do to get through it, find the person that you need to rely on, but don't vent it on everybody. I said to my team the other day, you know, this isn't even really relatable to what we're talking about, but when you go to post on Facebook, read it out loud before you hit the post button. I'm just saying. Okay. I'm just saying. Like, and I don't even know everybody on this call, but I'm just saying in general, there are some people, even on my team, that choose to air all that stuff out there, and all it does is draw more to you. And I already talked about that at the beginning, but like, we'll all get through this. Like, we are never given more than we can handle, right? God does not do that to us. So we just have to pull up our big girl panties and do our thing, right? Because we are capable of massive, massive things. It's all in the mindset, and that's where personal development comes in. Sometimes that is like, Tina got me Jesus Calling. I don't know if that's your thing, but I'm going to tell you what, doing a little devotional in the morning or motivation, devotional, things like that in the morning will change a lot of things. All right. So that's what I talk about, like doing something positive in the morning. That makes a huge difference. And getting through, I'm not just saying in my business, I'm saying that makes a big difference in how I mom, how I wife, how I friend, how I work, how I grocery shop. Just kidding. I'm nice to everybody there.
And you know, I always compare that, and like, she nailed it. That's one of my big things, is you personally develop first thing in the morning, because guys, like, today's Monday, right? Which I didn't realize until like 2:00. Okay. Today is Monday, and you know, people wake up and they're like, Monday sucks, right? That's everyone's mindset. Mondays suck. And so what happens? Monday morning, they wake up, they've decided it's going to suck. So they stub their toe on the way out the door. They leave 10 minutes early to get to work, but they arrive 10 minutes late because something terrible happened. They get to work, they realize they got toothpaste on their shirt, and they're like, see, I knew it. Freaking Monday sucked. You spoke that into existence when you woke up in the morning and decided to be negative. If you woke up in the morning and you did your devotional, or you listened to your fearless motivation while you're in the shower, because guys,
or all of it.
I love that Daphne said that, because I'm going to tell you why. This morning in the shower, I listened to the leadership call with Justin Prince and Bob Goshen. And I told someone last night on a team Zoom that I did for another team, I'm like, the difference between an elite and a regular social marketer is we shower and listen to personal development. We fix our hair and we listen to personal development. We're not turning on Spotify for just fun in the mornings. And that's the difference in how we handle things and how the average person handles a Monday. And that's why Mondays to me never suck, right? Like, I wake up and I'm like, yes, Monday, let's do this. And I think Daphne saying that is huge, because as the elites on this call, our minds are like, well, it's always scary how close they are anyway. But, you know, I'm like, get out of my head, Daphne. But it likes it in there. I can't, it's fine. So I think that's important. And so someone asked, you know, how do you break out of that? And it's 100% personal development. You know, it's 100% personal development.
So I have something to add to that.
Go for it.
Just when you say, like, Okay, so this is like my like no-brainer thing. All right. So the question is, what do you do to break out when you do get stuck? Go put that exact question into YouTube. You know what I mean? Like how to get unstuck, or you know what, reword it, whatever. But put like, I will be like, oh my gosh, it's the first of the month. What do I do? It's the first of the month. Type in first of the month, or type in, new months, new goals, whatever, and you guys will be shocked at what you find that is going to relate to exactly what you're going through. And the first 6 videos you watch might not be what you're looking for, but you will find something if you are diligent to find something that suits what you're looking for. And YouTube is very easy for me. Like I said, if I'm watching and listening, like I can stay tuned in.
That's why I like podcasts too.
Yeah. So yeah, podcast for sure. So, I could talk to I'm blue in the face about mindset just because, I said to Amber today, she said, we were talking goals, for just a split second, voice clipping while I was driving. Yes, I did it. It's illegal. I know. We were talking about that 20,000, that got thrown out there. And I was like, okay, well, look, that has to happen really quick because there's a couple things on the line with that. And she's like, okay, what do you need? And I said, I can identify that right now I feel like I'm in a recruiting slump for me. Okay. I shouldn't have said that out loud, just so you know. You should never put those out there. But I know that I am. But I know that tomorrow morning, because I put it out there, because I recognized it, because I was able to identify that, tomorrow morning when I get up, I am going to tell myself hundreds of times that I am a recruiting maniac. And I'm going to watch something tonight before I go to bed that is about being a recruiting maniac. And I'm going to listen tomorrow morning to Fearless Motivation, and then I'm going to find a podcast that's about recruiting. And I'm going to look up recruiting on YouTube, and I'm going to do whatever I need to do in the next 24, 48, 72 hours to make sure that everything is geared into my brain about recruiting. Okay. That's what I love to do. I love to build teams. I love to work with people that want to change their lives. So why am I torn away from it? You know why? Because I let myself. It was all in the mindset, right? Like I was like, oh yeah, I've been working with Tina's team, and like I got in that, and then they were like, oh yeah, our wings grew, we're off, and now they don't need me, and now I'm not stuck here, not recruiting on my own. And I'm like, okay, Daphne, like time to gear in. So when somebody says to me, this is another like sharp right, when I was talking to the leader today, she's like, okay, well, I have people that are struggling with people saying they don't have the money right now because kids going back to school and sports and whatever. Again, mindset, right? Like, I don't get people that say that to me. But you know why? Because I'm confident in the $4.99 kit. I'm confident that that's their value. I'm confident in the $2.49 kit. Like, that's how I talk, right? Like, if I'm confident with it and I know that they know that they need this, then there's no room for them to be like, I don't have the money. Well, then you need this even more, right? So I was like, there's something in your mind, if there's some response you're getting, if you're like, man, I can't sign up a customer, man, I can't recruit a social marketer, man, I can't do this, whatever it is that you feel like you can't do right now, there's something in your personal mindset that's stopping you. Okay. So maybe you're fearful to ask people for the money for the kits to sign up. Okay. It could be subconscious. You'd be like, I'm not afraid. Well, but something in you is like, oh, I'm putting somebody on the spot when I say the money. Like my favorite thing to do when somebody says, well, how much is it to get started? Oh my gosh, it ranges from $199 to $699, but incidentally, those are my 2 least favorite price points. Let me tell you about the 2 that are awesome. $249 and $499. $249 is a good value. It's $20 more than the customer, but the $499 is where it's at. Like you get all this stuff, and you're immediately eligible to start earning our fast track bonuses. Like, why would you want to miss that? Okay, guess what? I sign up a lot of $4.99 kits.
I'm so mad at you for never giving me that wording.
Well, I shouldn't have kept, if you would get on my 9 o'clock opportunity Zooms every single Monday at 9 o'clock, there's your little shout out. I say that exact line every single Monday night at 9 o'clock.
Love it. Love it. Hey,
so it's all in the mindset.
Tina made a comment on here that I wanted to actually touch base on too real quick. She said, elites don't miss calls. And it's funny because we did a Maryland training this week. It was a week ago. Okay. It's my whole 2 weeks have blurred together somehow, I think. It was not this past weekend. It was the week before. We did a Maryland training, and John was not due to train until 2:30, but he was there all day. And I walked out, and Michelle was there, so she can attest to this. I walk out, and John's at a table, like, off to the side, plugged into the Saturday call. Like, dude does not miss a call. Okay? He was like, oh, my God, we have 2 calls on Mondays? Like, I'm going to get nothing done on Mondays. But, like, here's your elite 3 in the middle of this massive training plugged into the Saturday call. Zero excuses. Like, he just doesn't do that. He is 100% plugged in all the time. And in that moment, I was like, dang, it's no wonder John is so awesome. Like, because guys, we all miss them sometimes. I did not miss the leadership one today. I missed the Ray Higdon call Saturday, so I listened to it last night when I was cooking dinner. Okay, so like I always catch up on them, but we don't miss calls because we need to stay plugged in, because I always say if you want to keep the fire burning, you have to stand close to the fire. And the best way to do that is to plug in. I mean, it's so easy to plug in, guys. It's so easy. There's actually an app too. I have to look up the name of it. I'll share it. There's an app that you can set a reminder for a conference call and even put in the conference call number and such, even with the pin, if there's a pin, which can we all just be grateful that Baudaire's calls don't have pins? Like, that's so much easier. But you can literally plug in the number, and when it says, hey, it's time for that call, you hit the call button and it dials the number for you and everything. And literally, it's the easiest way ever to stay plugged into calls. So I'll try to share that.
Sign me up, like now.
It's amazing. It puts it into your calendar. It reminds you 10 minutes before. I'll get the app for you guys. Because it is.
Amber, you just yelled at Daphne for not giving us her opportunity quote, and now we're all going to yell at you for not telling us about that app.
She's stingy.
I am stingy. Actually, you know what? My husband taught me that, because he used to use it for conference calls when he had a real job. And I was like, dang it, I missed another call. And he's like, why aren't you using this app? I'm like, why haven't you told me? Well, no, so Brian, it will remind me about a conference call, but it will actually plug in the numbers and call it for me, and it'll input the PIN numbers if you need them. Like I said, it's easier here because
I just need this.
Numbers, but it's amazing, especially because the Saturday calls have pins. So, you know, it's awesome. So yes, I will get you guys that. I'm so sorry. Anyway, okay, so Daphne, one of my favorite things that we talked about, because we're going to wrap up here, is that I adore the fact that you don't have to come in here and be technical, because you know that mindset is king. Like, that's huge. So I think that a lot of people took a lot of notes in that regard. But give them just your one last. Oh, Tina, she said her mindset's why she went P2. Guys, that is no joke. She went P1 and she was like, I'm still going P2. It was the end of the month. I was like,
2 days left.
2 days. She went from P1 to P2 in 2 days. And not because she was hoping to go P2.
Listen, I think I was stressing about it more than she was. She's like, I got this. And she was on vacation on the beach doing it. And I was like, oh my God, she's going to do P2. Oh my God. I always like, this has to happen for her. And she's like, I'm in my bathing suit. I'm like.
It was sick. Okay.
It was crazy.
Sick like that. She's just sick like that. So give them like just your one last giant.
Okay. I'm prepared. Okay, first of all, I want to just really quickly plug. I'm not really sure what time because I didn't confirm it with Tina, but Tina, we're just talking about what she did last month. We'll be doing a customer acquisition live tomorrow in M Live Nation. So be prepared for that. Watch for that, because if you want to talk about how to acquire customers, that's your girl. Okay, and then, so my last thing I want to say, you guys, is you are all responsible for your own business, right? There's nobody, your upline, downline, sideline, nobody's responsible for what you have, right? Or what you do. But I'm going to tell you right now that this is your personal opportunity to create your very own dream team. If you are sitting back and you're like, man, I really wish I could work with that person, or man, I really wish I could do that, go do it. This is your opportunity to go out there and talk to whoever it is that you want to talk to, encounter, build relationships, go after what you so deserve. Do not look back. Okay, we all came from different circumstances. We've all had bad things happen. We all have baggage. We all have heavy things on our shoulders, but we all are capable of massive, massive things here. So if your goal and if your eyes are set on something, do not let anything stop you. Do not let any of the things going around out here get into your brain. I am just as guilty as everyone else. I like to make fun of the fact that I only once in a while recognize the fact that I'm human. But I feel like we all sometimes, you know, like we let those things infiltrate. But if we do everything in our power, whether we've talked a ton about personal development, we talked a ton about who you surround yourself with. I want you to really quickly, and this is, I know I'm going to take longer than what she probably wanted me to, but the top 5 people that you spend the most time with, that is what you're going to bring about in your life, all right? So if you step down with a piece of paper and write down the top 5 people that you spend the most amount of time with, write down what their income is, and write down 3 words that describe those 5 people. Then look at your life, okay? Because that's going to be those 5 people are the sum of what you will become. Okay, so choose wisely. I know somebody posted like they're trying to choose their circle wisely. I think that's really ideal. And here we have the opportunity, you know, because we work a business online, the top 5 people you spend the most time with can be electronic, you guys. Obviously, in your family doesn't count, and they count very much, but they don't count in those 5 people, right? Because I'm certainly going to spend the most time with these guys. But that's why I do this business. So here's your chance to build your dream team. Here's your chance to work with who you want to work with. Here's your chance to be choosy. Here's your chance to make really good decisions and just strive for things that you never in a million years imagined to be possible for your life, for your family, for your kids. Show them that anything is possible, because right now, right here is the perfect time. And I've never seen anything put together so simply, so duplicatively, and so seamlessly that's going to allow us all to achieve things that we never dreamed possible. So don't let anybody stop you. Don't, you know, there's a lot of things going on out there, but they don't have to affect you. And this goes right back to what Amber said, you get to choose how you react to things. So make wise choices.
Yes, I love it. I'm not even wrapping anything else up. If you guys could give Daphne some love, I'm probably going to make a post for her on my page so you can share some aha moments, because she's a rock star. And I hope you enjoyed getting to know my first elite on this team. So we are grateful for you. And I know this was the perfect intro to elites. Like this call is money. So I'm grateful.
I'm glad I didn't have to follow anybody.
Now they all have to follow you. I mean,
I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Daphne, I love and adore you, and thank you for hopping on, even with short notice. I appreciate it.
Well, it worked out great.
Love you guys.
Love you guys too. Bye.
Bye.